Sheila Collins, you paint under the name Cooper. Why?
It's my mother's maiden name. She was the one that encouraged me with my art, put me through varsity, and every time I sign my name, it's a tribute to my mom. She was an amazing lady.
You studied art, and is it correct that you then went on to work with paleontologists?
While I was at Wits, I worked with Professor Raymond Dart, and he trained me in drawing artifacts, potteries, and mainly sent me up to Makapansgat to work there with some of the students. And I was, I suppose you could say, I was his gopher, you know, in the art department. Yes.
But that must have given you a very solid grounding in art.
I was also tutored by Marge Bowen, who was one of my mentors. She was amazing and would encourage, she invited me to assist her in a lot of her workshops, and I learned a lot, an amazing amount from her. She was a brilliant art teacher, and I think I'm passing on a lot of her tuition as I go.
At what point did you go and teach at Treverton?
1983 I fell into Treverton. They needed an art teacher to help out for 2 or 3 weeks. 11 years later I left Treverton to move somewhere warmer. Moy River was very, very cold.
And your son's went to Treverton, is that right?
Yes, yeah. Yes, and my daughter.
Oh, is it a co-school? Oh.
Yes.
Okay. And you came here?
And then I came here. I wanted to be near the sea, and I wanted to be somewhere warmer. I didn't really know Sedgefield. Nobody knew about Sedgefield. They'd ask me where Sedgwick is, and that's how I ended up.
And since you've been here, I almost associate you with the Knysna Elephants.
Well, I started the handmade paper mainly from an economical point of view. I was throwing away wonderful paper, and I decided to start recycling it and then adding fiber. And one day I'd seen a rhino midden, and I thought, that's just chopped grass. I wonder if that wouldn't work. So I incorporated that into my paper, and it made the most beautiful paper. And of course, from then it was a simple progression to go on to elephant dung. When I moved down here, I was looking for elephants, and Ian Withers and Lizette at the elephant park said they had dung. I could have as much as I wanted. And that was really the beginning of our little business. Once we were up and running and had gone through the whole process of learning how to print on handmade paper, which is a very, very difficult process. It took us 18 months to get our paper right. I was involved with Wildlife Society. They were wanting to raise funds to reprint the book by Margot Mackay on the Knysna Elephants. And
that was the Knysna Elephants in their forest home.
And their forest home. And I offered to raise funds. I said we could do a limited edition. Before I knew what had happened, Margot Mackay had phoned the 50-50, and in no time they had decided to do a whole shoot on this project. The Knysna Elephants, collecting the dung, making the paper, and doing a print. I did a painting of the last elephant that we thought was the last. Now it seems there may be more. And that project was hugely successful. We made 350,000 rand, which went to the Knysna Elephant Park for their education program. We were very proud of that because we worked from our garage. We were small cheese in the business, and just from recycled paper and elephant dung and a bit of painting, we managed to raise that money. So the book was published, and the rest of the money went to the education program.
And then later on, you started with this project with the elephant's footprint. Can you explain that?
Well, that too was for a biodiversity project for WWF. I did an embossed elephant footprint. This is an average size. It's 50 centimeters. The biggest one that I measured up in Caprivi was 86 centimeters, which is substantially bigger. But if I had gone bigger, I would have had to make bigger screens, bigger sheets of paper, bigger problems. So we stuck to the average size. I took imprints of elephant footprints. I studied Harry at the at Elephant Park. I looked at his foot. We got him to do an imprint on paper, which was really quite funny too. He put his foot up, we painted down Harry, and he'd miss the paper. So each time we eventually slipped the paper under, and I got a number of prints from him. And then something not very nice, but was very useful for me. A friend had an ashtray on an elephant foot, just not very nice. But I was able to get up close and personal with the tracks. So this is a generic elephant. This is the imprint of the week-old baby elephant Tundi, which means love, who was born at the Knysna Elephant Park in October 2003. It has been embossed into handmade paper using recycled paper pulp, into which sanitized elephant dung has been added for interest and texture. The original cast of the footprints has been enhanced for visual effect by the artist, c'est moi.
So did you make a sculpture of the footprints,
Yes.
and then you've molded
Yes.
this paper over that sculpture?
Yes. And then the paper, this is a beautiful piece. It's got flecks of dung in it. Some people don't like the dung in it, so we did it without. Sometimes I paint into the imprint, or I'll do a little panel at the bottom of elephants. And as I say, some people like them with just plain. No dung, no painting.
And it's got a little Wildlife Fund WWF panda at the
Yes.
bottom. What's that?
That is the WWF logo. A third of the proceeds go to WWF for their biodiversity project.
Sheila, if we wanted to see your work, is it available to view?
Yes, I usually have work here, and it goes to various galleries, and SouthAfricanArtist.com.
And you welcome people at your home?
Yes, if they give
In
me a ring
Hatchuel?
to make sure I'm here, and if they say what they want to see, I can always have it. And of course, I'm very happy to do commissions, if it's in my line of things. Yes.
And you also teach?
And I teach, yes.
How often?
Once a week. That's all I can really spare. I've got a wonderful group, and I teach whatever they want to learn, basically, yes.
Sheila Collins, thank you very much.
Thanks, Martin. Okay.